What's up guys, it's Bella and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited because we are doing our September monthly wrap-up video. We are going to be talking about all the books that I read in the month of September. I read a whopping 18 books this month. Pretty good, but not my best. So let's just get right into it. If you guys watched my September TBR video that I posted at the beginning of the month, you would know that I handpicked 10 TBR prompts out of my TBR jar and picked 10 books to read during the month. This was the 10 books that I selected, a solid list, and these are the ones that I ended up reading on the actual TBR. So not terrible, but also not very good. I'm really bad at actually sticking to what I schedule myself to read. I think it's because I'm just one of those people where you can't tell me what to do. Let's go over all 18 books that I read this month and talk about them. We started the month off strong with a fall cozy book, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This has just gone so viral all over the internet and I really wanted to read it. It's by Lori Gilmore, which I learned is a pen name. Let's talk about this book. It's obviously Gilmore Girls inspired. I mean, come on, you've got your grumpy man and then your female main character is, you know, this fun girl who moves to the small town. I mean, the town literally has town meetings. I mean, it is Gilmore Girls coded. She literally made her pen name Lori Gilmore. Very Luke and Lorelai coded. There's not a lot of tension in this book. I felt like it was almost immediate attraction, which is something I don't like. Like, I love a build-up. Give me that tension. Give me that, like, that energy towards something. Don't make them immediately attracted to each other, because then what am I doing? What am I reading this for? I actually had to start listening to the audiobook towards the end of this just to get through it. So unfortunately I didn't love this, so I gave this book a 2.5 stars. But because I'm crazy, I had to read the second one, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which I actually gave 2 stars because it is actually a copy and paste of the first book. The male main character is super flighty and the woman, the FMC, does not want to get involved with him because she thinks he's just gonna get up and run. He's gonna leave town. There is a slight mystery aspect to these books, which is really fun because while you're following their romance, there's also something that they're trying to figure out, and it was the same in Pumpkin Spice Cafe too. These books just didn't make me giggle, didn't make me kick my feet. They're fun as far as like the environment goes, like the small town fall vibe, but I just didn't love them, okay? And then I moved on to Daisy Hates and the Great Undoing, which I gave 3.5 stars. I actually had quite a hard time getting through this book, which is really sad for me because I really loved the first Daisy Hates book a lot. I loved seeing Julian and Magnolia's relationship through his perspective during this book because Julian Hates is just... And honestly, I found myself only really caring about seeing their relationship. Anytime it was back to Daisy or Christian, I was like, who cares? Like, actually, who cares? But I did sob my eyes out at the very end, so I will be anxiously awaiting the next Daisy book, okay? Oh my gosh. Then Phantasma came out, which is the new, you know, romantic-y book that everyone's talking about by Kaylee Smith, and I loved this book, you guys. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's a very similar start to Caraval. She enters like a traveling haunted mansion competition called Phantasma because she believes that her sister has also entered the competition and she wants to protect her sister. Caraval vibe. Each trial is based off of a 7 deadly sin. So we've got greed, pride, lust, all of the 7 deadly sins, which is so fun. She has a voice in her head that you are not sure if it's real or her imagination or if it's like Book of Azrael where it's like an actual, you know, spirit inside of her. She has a lot of weird quirks, OCD like tendencies that I could honestly relate to like a lot. She makes a deal with a male demon to help her stay alive through the trials in exchange to help him find a way out of Phantasma. There's good romance aspect, really high stakes, and a incredibly shocking twist at the end that I was not really expecting, and then I felt like the book wrapped up really fast, which I really like. Like, once the story is over, you don't need to draw it out for more chapters. Like, I'm done, and I really liked that, so I gave this 4.5 stars. Oh my gosh, you guys. And then I started the Harry Potter series, and I actually have Deathly Hallows in my hands because I didn't want to grab all of them down. I started reading Harry Potter, and I was going to make a reading vlog about it, and I really wish I did, but I didn't. Long story short, I am so glad I finally read them. It was the best reading month for me because majority of it was spent reading Harry Potter and then watching the movies, It was so fun. I gave all 7 books 5 stars. I don't know how you could not. They're so good. Like, they're just so amazing, and I love this universe. I love this story, and I'm really glad that I was able to read it for the first time. I thought it was really special. And yeah, so I read all 7 books of Harry Potter and give them all 5 stars. Okay, then we read The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I had actually read The Inheritance Games like a couple months ago, but I didn't have the other ones on my Kindle and I didn't want to pay for them on my Kindle, so I ended up getting this and I gave it 4 stars. These books are so fun. I mean, they're fast-paced, super easy to read. The chapters are literally like 2 pages short. Lots of riddles, clues, reveals, lots of high-stakes moments in this book. I didn't really love how the book ended, like the final wrap-up to the story. It wasn't really the ending I was expecting, and that kind of disappointed me, but we love a love triangle, and both of the men in this book are... And then I went to Final Gambit, which I did not love very much. It's still fun, mystery, trying to find a, you know, a solution to a thing, an issue, and then I didn't really like that this book was kind of its separate story from the way the other one wrapped up. Like, it's still connected, but it's different, and I just didn't really like it. I gave it 3 stars. Felt pretty unsatisfied with it, and I don't think I'll continue with the other books. Like, I know she's got like a prequel and then I think another one coming out, and I think I'm done with this story. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I don't think I'm going to continue. So 3 stars. And then I was ready for some fantasy, okay, and I picked up Gothicana by Runx. I'm not sure how to say that. I gave this 3.5 stars. I actually really enjoyed it. It was so fun, spooky vibes, very Wednesday coded, like the show Wednesday. A girl can hear voices in her head. You're not really sure who they are. Are they dead? Are they alive? The romance between the 2 characters was really fun, but very cringe at moments, which is why this did not get a 4 stars. Like, the dialogue between them, I was like, there's no way that people actually say this in real life. Like, it's too not believable. Like, it's so cringe. There's been murders and disappearances in this school for 100 years, and it gave the book a really fun mystery aspect because you're wondering, you know, the characters are trying to figure out why are all these murders happening on this specific day, and will there be a murder this year. I did guess the reveal at the end, which kind of sucked, but it was a fun ending despite the fact that I guessed it, and I just think it's the perfect book for spooky season, so I definitely recommend picking this up. Daydream. I loved Icebreaker, and I loved Wildfire. This one, unfortunately, didn't really love. I gave it 3 stars. It's the book 3 in the Maple Hills series. It follows Henry and Hallie. The characters from Icebreaker and Wildfire are in the book a lot or mentioned a lot, which is really fun because you can stay connected to what they're doing. I was mostly excited for this book out of all of them because I love Henry. Like, Henry is baby girl. We love Henry. I don't know. So she's a shy, bookish girl, which is really fun because I can relate to that, and he is the hockey captain, as you know. There is a fake dating plot to help her gain life experiences to write about because she wants to be a writer, and she's entering a writing competition, and she feels like she's just missed out on life and doesn't have any experiences, so he helps her by doing a fake dating plot. Fortunately though, this was my least favorite book of the series so far. I didn't like the chemistry between them really at all. It's a really cheesy dialogue. I felt like I was also cringing heavily at this, and it didn't really feel like the same author wrote the other books and this one. It just felt off to me, but the ending was really sweet, and I did get a little emo at the end, but it didn't make up for it. It's still 3 stars for me. And then I was like, Noah, I can't do romance right now. We're doing mystery thriller. So we read Misery by Stephen King, and I really liked it. I gave it a 4 stars. It starts off with our main character, who is a famous author, and he has been kidnapped by his #1 fan, and it immediately starts off with that. Like, he's been kidnapped already, and he's coming to like what is happening. She claims to have stumbled upon a car crash, and he had crashed his car, and she has saved him. She brought him to her house, splinted his leg, gave him an IV, and is bringing him back to health. Both of his legs are broken. She basically tortures him into writing an additional book to a series that has ended because she is not okay with the fact that he killed off her favorite character in his book series. And so she gets him by torture to write an additional book just for her. There's tons of traumatic things in this book, lots of trauma, okay? One thing about his writing too is I feel like it takes me double the amount of time to read these books because they're so descriptive. I feel like I'm really paying attention to every word he writes, and I'm not doing a lot of skimming, which I don't do, but you know what I mean. I don't know, I really like this book. I like how it wrapped up. I had a lot of questions afterwards. I was critically thinking about a lot of things, and I think I'll be thinking about this book for a while, so I gave it 4 stars. Almost done. I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I did end up giving 5 stars. I thought I was gonna give it 4, but it deserves 5, I think. I was immediately sucked into this book. Like, I haven't really been sucked into a book like this in a really long time. A girl in the 1700s in France gets cursed to live a life of freedom where nobody can remember her ever. So if she meets someone, they will not remember her after their interaction is done. And it goes back and forth between current day, it's 2014 in New York City, and then over the course of the 300 years wherever she is during her life. It is so good. Like, I love the time jumps. I really loved reading the current day stuff at the beginning, but as the book went on, I found myself gravitating more towards the 1800s story. I cried at the very end. Really emotional, really sweet, a beautiful story. Yeah, I couldn't decide between 4 and 5 stars, but I think it deserves 5 stars because it's just a really unique story. Last book of the month was actually an ARC that I received, so thank you so much. It is First Time Caller. I gave it 4 stars. I really love the cover of this book. I think it's actually one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen of a romance. It starts off really strong and really fast. Our MMC is a radio show host of a romance dating show, and our female character is actually a single mom to a preteen, and she is a mechanic and works at a car shop. There's lots of quirky things mentioned like right at the beginning. I don't want to get too much into it because the book is not out yet. The plot really begins when the daughter calls into the romance hotline looking for relationship advice for her mom without her knowing. I'm gonna stop speaking right there, okay? But let me just say one more thing. The man, our beautiful man, keeps a list of all of her favorite things in the glove compartment of his car so he never forgets. Honestly, the perfect romantic comedy. I loved it. I thought it was so cute. It was a really quick read, super fun, and I was smiling and giggling and kicking my feet multiple times. So 4 stars. I definitely recommend getting it. It comes out in February. That is all 18 books that I read for the month of September, fall season. We're officially in spooky season, okay? I have a TBR for the month of October video coming out in just a few days, so subscribe to my channel if you want to see what I'm going to be reading, hopefully, for the month of October. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you guys next time when I post a new bookish video.